Back, baby! Regular Rick! Master of both worlds!
So, hello everyone, welcome back to the road to 120 kilo. If you didn't really maybe know or have been following us on social medias, I was traveling around Europe, so I basically went around Europe, survived coronavirus and came back and struggled basically to get back in the country. So basically this video will be based on what I'm going to do now in this whole situation, diet, talk about my travels, a few tips on sort of traveling and what you realistically need to be taking or what to do. We kind of diving into a bit about mental health, maybe getting a wee bit deep, a bit real, talking about my sort of past and what led me to travel and basically why I needed to go to do what I do. Also a wee bit maybe inside of like how Uprising Barbell sort of came about. I sort of believe in life that signs sort of pop up in life and show you which direction to go, and sometimes you just gotta follow them signs and see what leads. I feel like a lot of things in life can be sort of connected in weird ways, and the world is ultimately really small. But as you can see, I'm walking the dog. She's starting to become slightly deaf and a wee bit blind, I think, so she's not really listening to me as much. She's quite an old dog. Watch this. Tilly! Tilly! Yeah, she's not really responding as well. But yeah, she is an old dog. She's 14 years old. She's a Labrador mix, and she's basically a forever dog, I think, because she hasn't really slowed down apart from her hearing and her sort of sight a wee bit. As you can see, she's coming here. She's a good dog, but keeps me company. Mainly me and her in the house, like, so one of the reasons I have to go home all the time. But yeah, so I guess I could probably start talking about now, like why I went traveling. So in my past I have lost family members. When I came home from uni, basically got a job, just wanted to stay at home for a bit. My younger brother, that's a twin to another brother, had basically went to the same university. So I went to Freshers Week with him for 2 years, and then his second year. In the summer he kind of lost a lot of weight. We thought it was just because he was partying all the time, staying out, not eating well at uni. When he came home, he was just sort of staying out all night with his mates and stuff like that, and you know, kind of just lost a lot of weight really quickly. We didn't really think too much of at the time of it, but it was something about a bit of a back problem. We just thought, because you know, for rugby and stuff, we played rugby for years, it was just a rugby injury. Didn't really look into it. So went back to uni with him Freshers Week and second year, kind of kept up with it as well. We were doing a sort of drinking and sort of, you know, going to sleep after that, and then waking up late in the day and just repeating that sort of day in day out until Freshers Week was over, having a bit of crack in that. But when I left him, he kind of took a downturn. He wasn't going to uni classes, he was sort of feeling ill and sick, so I'm having to sort of keep an eye on the dog here. And his like uni mates were like, you know, you kind of need to go to a doctor, you don't look very well and things like that, and he ended up going to the doctor and needing a blood transfusion. Obviously at this time we didn't know what was the real problem with him, so went to uni doctor, got told he needed his blood transfusion. This weekend he was meant to be coming home at the time, so he came home and didn't tell anyone, but he told his younger brother, his other twin brother. One sec. Tilly! Tilly! Here! Come here! Told his twin brother that he needed his blood transfusion. His other brother told me. I told mum to rush him up to the hospital to get this blood transfusion because it was apparently urgent. Went to the hospital, got this blood transfusion. Didn't seem to pick up too much, picked up a bit. And then obviously did more testing on him, found out he had Hodgkin's lymphoma. So he battled that for 16 months and unfortunately passed away. I can kind of well up sometimes with talking about this stuff. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it can still be quite hard. It's never really easy talking about it, but I've spoken about that many times with different people. It's kind of normal for me, but it's just a really bad situation to talk about, I guess. So yeah, he passed away, and that was really hard at the time. Parents had sort of split up after that, and my mum was really bad with illnesses as well because she was diabetic, so her immune system was sort of shot, so any kind of thing that knocked her back did really knock her back. Through life I've seen her go in hospital many times, end up in ICU many times, had a few scares and always came out the other end. But this time she went in with pneumonia, started off with a bad chest cough, cold. So basically they sent her up to a hospital to get like fluid off her lungs, sent her to another hospital in the country. So the one that she was staying in mainly, she stayed at, and then they sent her up to get this operation because they couldn't do it at the hospital she was at for some reason. So I was going to work one morning, one sec again. Tilly! 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 Here! Oi! Tilly! She's not really listening to me. Tilly! Here! Come here! Tilly! I'm going to have to chase after the dog here. Tilly! Here! Tilly! This is going to make a really interesting video of me just shouting at the dog the whole time. Tilly, come here! Come here! Here! She's a bit, not disobedient, but she's a bit more free choice at the moment with herself. Yeah, so mum went to the hospital, obviously trying to get through the rungs of this operation. Dog's not really listening to me at all. Tilly, here! Come here! Come here! So yeah, I was meant to be going to work this morning at the time that this was all happening. Basically I got a call from the hospital, oh, you need to come up and see your mum. I was like, oh, my brother's going up today because I'm working. I was nearly going into work and they kept ringing and ringing and they wouldn't really tell me why it was happening. So basically I drove to the hospital, obviously thought there was something kind of wrong, and got in there and got told that she died on us. You know, that was extremely sort of hard too. No harm to my brother, but I think losing my mum was a lot harder, obviously because she was always the person that was always there, and you know, no matter what, your mum's always going to be your #1 fan and stick up for you regardless of whatever you do in life. So that was really hard. So after all that, Tilly, come here. Tilly, here. Come here. Here. Come here. Here. Come on. This way. Alright. Here. Come here. I guess we're doing what the dog's doing. Here. I'll pause this. Yeah, so I've got the dog back in the lead now because there's other dogs about. She's harmless to other dogs, but it's not her I'm worried about. She's an old dog, she's not really going to do anything. So yeah, obviously my mum passed away and then I had to like basically keep a roof over my head, pay for bills. My dad wasn't living in the country anymore, so he moved to England. So it was just me and my other brother, which we don't really get on very well with. Me and my other brother, I think we're just too different, or I think at this time I've overcome what I have and he still maybe hasn't yet. I don't know if he ever will, or if he'll ever come to terms or deal with it the way he should be dealing with it, but that's on him yet. So basically I had to take another job, end up working in Sainsbury's doing delivery driver. Never really got a chance to use my degree. So after all this happened, I was obviously that busy sorting things out with life and sorting out my living situation and keeping myself going. It took me about maybe 2 years before things really started to hit me what happened and to really deal with it. I haven't really, I think, properly processed that at this point. So at the time when all this was happening, I had a girlfriend. She was a nice girl, she was a good girl. So I guess I feel like sometimes she kind of bailed on me when things started hitting me properly, and I don't. It's a hard situation to be when you're with someone, and then my demeanor, I guess, kind of changed. I was like angry at the world. I was getting annoyed at really small, silly things that I shouldn't have been annoyed at, and like I think, on the surface things can look really fine, but deep down it can be really sort of painful. You know, I think it took a toll on her. It kind of wore her down. I was wearing myself down. I was kind of being self-destructive at this point, I guess. Not that I was taking any substances or things like that. It was just, kind of wore me down. So yeah, when I was like talking in the forest bit, the phone had like cut out on me and like had stopped recording because I had went over the time limit on the recording. So now I'm finishing this video off back home and continuing talking about what I had done. I've kind of lost my train of thought because I was on a roll when I was in the sort of forest there talking, but I'll do my best to sort of get back to what I was speaking about. So yeah, I was obviously talking about mental health stuff and dealing with what I'd been dealing with and my girlfriend at the time, and how it basically the situation I was in had kind of like wore me down, but also had like wore her down. When I was saying about her like bailing on me, obviously when she like broke up with me, I was kind of felt like when I was going through like a really hard time, she kind of bailed in that sense that she kind of like left when things got really sort of hard on me and tough. Like I ended up in a really sort of really bad mental place after dealing with what I had dealing with, like when it all probably hit me. It's obviously not an easy situation to like be in or to deal with. I also like before my mom passed away and between my brother dying, I was almost a father as well, so I nearly had a child. I was told it was a miscarriage, but I'm not really gonna dive into that too much because it was a bit of a really bad situation to be in, as well as what I was going through at the time as it was. Uh, but yeah, like I've had like many people like talk to me and like you know tell me to maybe go like see some professionals or like doctors or things like that to like speak about all my like sort of mental health stuff and issues that had happened at a time. Fortunately for me, I do have a good group of friends, and like uh, I honestly I don't think I needed like to speak to a professional as much as I needed to like just go through the process of like grieving and like really dealing with what had happened to me. Like I was like I didn't really know what was going wrong with me at the time when I was with my ex, but like it sort of hit me one day when I kind of like broke down. And when I mean I broke down, I probably broke down. It was like over something my brother had done, and like had really annoyed me. And like I said at the time, I was just angry at the world and I was getting annoyed at silly things. But like I just completely broke down into tears. That like I was like so annoyed at him, really fucked off at him. Uh, but like you know I didn't really know at the time what was wrong with me until I like probably figured out that I was missing my mum, I was missing my brother, I was like struggling with like them not being around, and like things haven't been so different. Like obviously because I was so busy like sorting out bills and rent and like keeping a job and things like that. Like that stuff didn't really properly hit me until everything kind of settled down and like for once in my life something was kind of going my way. Like through that whole period of time, I always felt like life was taking things away from me, but it was never giving me anything back. Um, but I think all that stuff that happened around that time kind of disrupted that whole relationship. We got on like a house on fire to start, and like things were going well, but like obviously about maybe 3 4 months in the relationship, it kind of just like deteriorated because the way I had so I couldn't emotionally control myself for like my mental state of mind was I don't think in the right place really at that point. Uh, but one of the reasons I ended up going traveling was because after she broke up with me, I had all this money set aside, and I was like, I don't know what I was going to do. It's just like, what I'm going to do with all this money. I've always wanted to go traveling, and like, I was waiting for someone to go with me to go traveling. That was the thing. I kind of wanted to go with someone, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait anymore. I have all this money set aside. I'm just going to go by myself. And to be honest, it's probably one of the best things I ever did was to go traveling on my own. Like I learned so much about myself, and like some of the reasons I went traveling was because I felt like I lost part of myself. Like going through an ordeal like that, it's like it's hard to be the same person after it, and like no matter what, I think it will forever have changed me. Like it's given me a different perspective on life and a different way of looking things at life. Um, but obviously it took me time to get over all the issues I had at the time. But for sure, like traveling was probably the best thing that I'd done, and I should have done it a long, long time ago. But I guess the situations in life eventually pushed me to do that in the first place. Like talking about stuff about mental health, like some of the reasons I actually started like training for strength and like some like part of the reason I actually ended up meeting Ethan was because basically I needed something else to focus on after my ex broke up with me. I was like struggling, like breaking down in the van at work and stuff before delivering to customers. Like I couldn't control myself. I just really needed something else to focus on. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get super strong. I'm gonna like compete in this like competition that I documented with Michael and Adam, uh, and previous videos, and I rode 120 kilo. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get as strong as I can and just keep focusing on that and sticking to a program and just like completely hammering it. So one day I was a deload week and I was like doing deadlifts, and basically I was trying to hit a PR even though I probably shouldn't have, but I was trying to hit 220 kilo. I got up to my knees and couldn't completely lock it out. And then Ethan came over. I never met him before beyond this point. Came over, started speaking to me and saying like how sort of well done to get that up there to my knees. I was like, oh, thanks. I really appreciate that. It's just, I'm only messing around. It's not a day load week. I probably shouldn't be doing this anyways. So after that whole sort of conversation, after speaking to him, we actually ended up training together, and then I realised his brother actually works in Sainsbury's. Like at the time, obviously, because the way I wasn't being sort of very sociable. I wasn't being much of a people person, so I was kind of going into work, not talking to too many people, sorting my van out and going. And then after I met Ethan and realised Ben was his brother in work, we obviously started becoming a lot closer. And then obviously AJ came in because he works in the gym that I went to. So that's partly how a short version, I guess, of how Uprising Barbell kind of came about, or my side of it, anyways. Um, so yeah, so back to going traveling. I went traveling. So basically, I was going around Europe, and when I left, everything was kind of all right. And then midway through it, at least started going really bad with it, and by the time I had to bail, I made it 3 weeks and got to Croatia. And then everything was starting to get locked down, borders were getting locked down, travel restrictions, everything was going sideways. Honestly, it was a really great trip. I met so many people, seen so many different things. It really was the thing that I probably needed for my headspace and to like really clear my head and sort of have a like listen to different people's stories and like listen about their life and like let me talk about my life to them. It was a great experience. I made it through Amsterdam, Berlin, Prague, Krakow, Vienna, Bratislava, Budapest, Zagreb, Split, Rijeka, and I would have made it to Rome, Venice, Zurich, Paris, uh, and Brussels if it wasn't for the whole situation. I'll go back and complete that another time, but I was happy to do what I did and meet the people I did because, I ended up speaking to people that had been in similar situations or lost similar people. And in a weird way, it's nice to know that you're not on your own in these situations and people, it's not just you going through it. Uh, it's a horrible thing to probably speak about, but it's comforting in a weird way to like know that it's not just you, it's not just your life, it's been sort of tipped upside down. Uh, but yeah, like regarding the mental health, like if you're in a bad place, have a good set of friends, change your environment, go see different things, go traveling, go on your own. And it was probably the best thing I ever did. Don't rely on to other people to like help you. Like go out and find the help that you need. If you need to speak to professionals, go speak to a professional. Um, if you're even struggling, and you need someone to speak to us on social media, speak to us through YouTube. We'll always be there to help. Um, I'll cut this video here because it's going to cut out on me again. But yeah, basically do what you need to do to get yourself sorted and to like don't expect things just to blow over or it's an easy fix or like things do take time and like it can be a dark and sort of really horrible place to be in, but from my point of view, you will potentially, well, no, you will come out of it. Like you will get better, and you will, overcome the struggles and the mental health things that you're struggling with. It just takes time, and it hits people at different points, and you know, it'll hit you when it hits you, or like you'll deal with it when you're ready to deal with it, or when you need to deal with it. Like I said, I believe things happen for a reason in life, and like there are signs that point you to the right direction. Sometimes they can be harder to find or to see than other times, but they're always there, and it's just a case of riding the wave. Uh, so yeah. So regards to traveling, a few tips that I learned along the way is always underpack your bag because no matter where you're at, you can always get what you need. It's better to carry less stuff and to like rewash all your clothes all the time because at the end of the day, if you're staying in a place for maybe 2 or 3 days, no one else is going to really see in the same clothes more than once or twice. And then you'll move on, and then again, these new people have never seen you in them clothes, so don't worry really about what you're wearing as much. Just like pack things that go with everything, and rewash your clothes. I overpacked shorts and t-shirts. I could have brought less and had less to carry, but now I learned the hard way that I could have brought less. So yeah, basically underpack. Hostels are a big thing. Picking the right hostel can make your experience a hell of a lot better. I stayed in all kinds of different hostels, and some of the best ones were the ones you found that were more sociable. Were like party hostels. People were willing to talk, meet people. Uh, the ones that I found hard to be around were ones that weren't really that sociable, or like people were just in the room, or they were just wouldn't talk, or like for the time here I went, there wasn't as many British or Irish people traveling. It was either Americans, there was a couple Australians, people from mainland Europe, but you know, uh, it kind of made me want to learn another language because I did have conversations with people that their English wasn't great, but we still managed to have a decent conversation. But it made me feel like I could have contributed more by actually having learned a new language. So if you go traveling, maybe learn a different language as well. So there's always a backup or another way to speak to someone. Though hostels were a great place to meet people, especially if it was a party hostel where everyone kind of went out, had a drink, got back, told stories the next morning, and ended up doing different activities throughout the day. One of the best places I actually stayed in the hostel was in Bratislava. It was probably the best sociable, fun hostel I've been at. With a wide range of people. It was basically run by backpackers for backpackers. They had daily activities as well. All the people working in the hostel were super nice and like were willing to help. Uh, Traveling on your own is a big thing as well, where you can kind of pick or choose when you want to be sociable. So it was always good that I always met people on my travels, but I could always pick when I wanted to be on my own or do my own thing. You don't always have to do what a certain group of people do. So that was always good. Public transport was pretty easy to sort out too. With me interrailing, literally all I had to do was get a train. I could travel anywhere in Europe. There was plenty of trains. Certain trains took longer and they were only certain times. But the longest train I think I took was maybe 7.5 hours. So I basically kind of slept on the train a bit. sometimes there isn't too much to see. It's usually fields or like trees and things like that, and then sometimes there is different architecture and buildings to see. So, uh, yeah, basically underpack, pick good hostels, look into them, look into like reviews if they're being sociable, or if they're, you know, look in their Facebook, things like that, pictures, see if they're having a good time. Pick Picking the right hostel made a big difference. At the moment, I can't really think of anything top of my head because obviously I'm winging the videos. They're, my videos can be quite raw for this like series. Uh, Ethan has a nice fancy camera, which I don't have. I'm using my phone. Um, but yeah, regards to like mental health and traveling, probably the best thing for my mental health was to go traveling. I know that's not always applicable for certain people with work and stuff, but if you can book a certain amount of time off, gather a bit of money, just go, just pack what you need to. I took a 4 liter bag, the biggest bag you can take on the whole like hand luggage. Packed basically for a month worth of travel. Had my wee bits and pieces like my water bottle, the selfie stick I'm using right now, travel plug, leads, pen, travel journal, and then basically one going out shirt, one pair of jeans. What else did I pack? Socks, boxers, like 5 t-shirts, a couple of pairs of shorts. Things that I could realistically cut down on, but I'll know for next time. Uh, so, regards to the road to 120 kilo, obviously with the situation with coronavirus and everything basically stopping and the world basically stopped turning. Uh, Diet wise, I'm pretty much eating very similar. I actually lost weight on my travels because I was walking that much, even though I was drinking beer, having local foods, snacking here there. I actually came back lighter. My calves physically got leaner. From the time started traveling to the time I came home, because I had no MOT or tax or insurance and I had to sort that out, I had to walk to work. So between traveling and then working the last few days, I had walked 300 miles. So for a big guy, that is a big thing. So basically at this point, I'm no longer a strength athlete, but I'm probably more a long distance marathon walker. Uh, I think the most steps I walked in one day was in Berlin, where I walked 22 mile basically, and was close to 50,000 steps. Uh, so I'll maybe write down on this video how many like steps is 300 miles. Obviously 300 miles is 300 miles, it's a lot. Not quite a proclaimer quite yet because I didn't walk 500, but I've sorted my car out so I don't have to walk as much to work. I might walk still when it's a nice day, or I feel like just I need to walk because, being stuck in houses, my job's luckily decent where I'm driving about all the time and I'm out and about and I do get to see different scenery. Not so much for everyone else that isn't really allowed to leave the house or go such a far distance. Uh, but training wise, I have a few pieces of equipment. I have a few kettlebells, resistant bands. I have a slam ball. I have a speed rope. I actually have a proper road bike, like a proper cycling bike that you would use for the Tour de France in the garage. That has the stationary thing I can set on to use that as well for more cardio. Obviously, we're meant to be strength athletes, but I have to use what I have. I don't have any dumbbells or anything like that, or actual physical weights. Obviously, the kettlebells are weights, but I don't have any barbells or sort of dumbbells. I guess I could go walking around for stones or stuff like that. That's maybe local around me that I can pick up that's decently heavy. Also, when I was walking the dog, I found an outdoor gym that they built. That wasn't there before I left, but now there is. So I guess if I really need to do some kind of gym stuff, I could use the outdoor equipment that you can use, make the most of the situation I have. Uh, Though regarding diet, I'm basically eating like the way that I had ate before I left. I think did I mention that? I can't really remember. I was kind of rambling on. Uh, Basically eating some kind of protein source, rice, beans, Basically because everyone was a bit of an idiot and panic bought, and the whole shopping system thing is a bit weird now. So they have certain stock of certain things. It's getting better than it was, but when I came back, it was a bit mental and people were losing the plot. So obviously there was no toilet roll when I came back, and I had to wait till that got restocked in the shops. But I'm basically eating pretty basic and anything that I can make in bulk because it saves me time and effort. Because no one really likes standing around cooking a bunch of meals unless you're a TV chef or, you know, have nothing else to do, which seems to be the case right now because everyone is at home. So regards to training and nutrition, that's what's happening right now. I don't know if we'll be able to sneak a video together with me, Ben, Ethan, and AJ or not with the whole situation because the police are starting to clamp down on essential travel. But we'll do the best what we can and get plenty of content out and individual series. You know, I've got this road 120 kilo. AJ started one about a lockdown. Ben and Ethan are doing like a workout type one at the moment. So keep watching them. But yeah, to basically recap the video, you know, life can give you plenty of struggles. It'll take time to deal with that sort of stuff. You know, don't be ashamed of your mental health or what state you're at. You know, find the help you need to. Try and sort things out yourself. Try and get to where you need to. We're always here to help if you need to. But you know, I would honestly recommend going traveling, go and seeing the world, go change your scenery, go talk to other people, meet new people. You know, bring maybe a part of the side that you thought you lost, or maybe, you know, like me, I don't think I ever really got that part back, but I think I've begun a new part of me that, you know, is more better, and I think it's a new start for me, a new beginning. Obviously, with this whole self-isolation and people, you know, having to stay at home, I can't be as sociable as I was when I was away. So I'm gonna have to keep practicing and being better at that. You know, I feel like I've come out the other end of all this stuff right now. I'll obviously always have, you know, a down day here and there because of the situation that I've been through or like what I'm dealing with. But I don't think it's gonna be anything as bad as it used to be. You know, what else can I speak about here? Yeah, recapping stuff again. That was what I was saying. Yeah, pack light. There's all stuff when you're traveling. You can always pick up things. You know, don't feel like you're under under packing. It's better to underpack and then pick up things on the way there. Meet people, go out, have drinks, get drunk, fall over. I did fall over once. That is a story for another time, but talk to other people, talk about your problems, talk about your struggles. You know, you'll always find people have been in similar situations or been in the same situation. You're not the only one out there, you're not alone. And yeah, keep fighting the good fight, keep on top of yourself, keep healthy, keep fit, have a walk a day, and I'll see you in the next video. Which is, I think, well, this could be either out on this Saturday coming. Today's the 2nd, I think I'm recording this on. So it could be the Saturday this week or next Saturday, depends on when I get finished editing. Though, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or need any help, messages, drop us a message. One of us will get back to you. I'll get back to you. We'll do our best to do whatever. We have a lot of free time right now. Well, certain members do. I'm working quite a lot because I am an essential worker. Working for Sainsbury's doing deliveries, so I am still working and functioning as a normal human being in this whole situation. So yeah, like the video, subscribe, and keep tuned for the next video that's coming out. We're banging out quite a lot, so it could be any day of the week at the moment. So yeah, thanks guys. Speak to you later. Nah, I don't have the best dog in the world. Don't know what Ben's on about.
It's a risky move there at the phone.